Congratulations, you've made an amazing decision by joining our challenge. This very challenge has been the result of thousands of pounds and thousands of inches lost. The reason why is because it's very, very effective. So we're going to get through how to get started with us, what to expect, and we're just going to cover everything that general questions most people have with the challenges and things that people find difficult when getting started with the challenge. So first step is you're going to get these things. You're going to get an initial eval, a food guide, macro breakdown, and a macro counting success guide. Your first step with us is filling out your initial evaluation. In your form that we give you, you're going to fill out the initial evaluation, answer it thoroughly, and from there we're going to give you your macronutrients, which the whole diet is based off macronutrient counting and creating your meal plans off your macros. So first step is to fill out that initial evaluation. The email addresses that you'll need to send it to will be in the sheet that we send you. Alright, now you've sent us the initial eval. What you're going to get back in return is your exact macro plan. We're going to tell you how many grams of protein you should be eating, how many grams of carbs, and how many grams of fat you should be eating. So everything we do is we count direct sources of proteins, carbs, and fats. So we're going to give you the exact amounts that you should be getting. Now, to make this clear, direct sources for protein would be you're just going to count the protein in the food. You don't have to count the carbs, you don't have to count the fat inside that protein source. So we give you a big long list of acceptable foods on our plans. So as long as you stick with those, you don't have to worry about anything but the direct sources. So for example, steak. Steak has 8.5 grams of protein per cooked ounce, so you'd only count the protein. But you notice it also has 5 grams of fat inside of it. You do not have to count the fat. The fat doesn't count. So as long as you're sticking with lean meats, all you need to do is count the protein. Now for carbohydrates, a great example is quinoa. Quinoa is a great carbohydrate source. 1 cup of quinoa has 42 grams of carbohydrates. It also has 10 grams of protein. But since we're only counting direct sources, we do not have to count the protein inside the quinoa. We just count the carbohydrates. Now the next one, a great example of a fat, would be peanut butter. Peanut butter has 16 grams of fat. It also has 7 grams of protein. It also has 7 grams of carbohydrates. But since we're only counting direct sources with the peanut butter, all we would count towards our macros is the 16 grams of fat, and we don't have to worry about the 7 grams of carbohydrates or protein inside the peanut butter. So it's really easy to count it. You don't have to get too caught up with counting everything.
So in this stage of the video, we're going to actually discuss creating your plan. Now, the big thing that you're probably thinking to yourself is, this is a lot of information. Some people get confused at this point, and that's all right. This is where we're going to make it really, really easy for you to figure out exactly how you create your meal plan. So when you send us the initial eval, we're going to send you in return a PDF file attached to the email with your name on it. Now, in this PDF, it's going to give you the exact macro breakdown based on whether you want 4, 5, or 6 meals a day. At this point, you need to really choose. Some days are going to be better than others, but you need to really make a conscious effort to say, I'm going to plan my day around 4 meals, 5 meals, or 6 meals. This is a very essential part of the diet because getting these macros as close to exact as we give them to you into your body is important. So for this example, we're going to use a 4-meal plan. So your next step of what you're going to do is you're going to take a piece of paper, get on your computer, whatever it might be, and grab your macro counting guide and your food list. And what you're going to do from here is you're going to say, okay, I'm going to do this many meals. So for this example, we're going to do 4 meals. So for breakfast, I'm going to have eggs as my protein source, and I'm going to have cheese as my fat source. Then you're going to go down to meal 2. I'm going to have chicken for my protein source, extra virgin olive oil for my fat source. Meal 3, I'm going to have a protein shake, and I'm going to throw some peanut butter in there. Meal 4, I'm going to have steak with some avocado. Now, what you want to do is after you've completed what meals you're going to eat and what you want in those meals, you're just going to write those foods down on a list, and now you have your grocery list. Now you're actually all set to go to the store, and you know exactly what you need for the entire first week of your diet, and you do this every single week that follows for the full 6 weeks. So your goal every week should be create a diet plan, create a grocery list, and then go to the store. And it's that simple.
Now, once you've figured out exactly what you want to eat, you've created your meal plan, you've created your grocery list, you still need to figure out the exact amounts of each food you should be eating that hit your macronutrient requirements. So, just to make this very simple, what we have here is each meal, we've broken it down, you need to get 25 grams of protein per meal and 15 grams of fat. So we're going to give you two examples. We've talked about we wanted chicken and we wanted extra virgin olive oil. To hit our macros of 25 grams of protein, using your macro counting success guide, it will tell you exactly how many grams of protein are per protein and how many grams are in your different fat sources. So you'd use that to figure it out. So chicken is 8 grams of protein per cooked ounce. So you would need 3 ounces of chicken to get 24 grams of protein. It's really that simple. Next, you go over and try to figure out how do I get 15 grams of fat out of extra virgin olive oil? Well, 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil is 14 grams of fat. So it's not perfect, it's not exactly 15, but you're very close, and that's what matters. You don't need to be perfect, but you need to be close. Next, we have your shake and your peanut butter. 1 scoop of Cellucor shake protein powder equals about 25 grams of protein. So 1 scoop gets you 25 grams of protein. Yes, it's 1 gram above your, it's exactly what you want. Now, the next one would be peanut butter. Again, you wanted to get 15 grams of fat. 1 tablespoon of peanut butter elicits 16 grams of fat. So it's 1 over. It's not a big deal. You're very close. And it's really that simple to figure out how much you should be eating of each food to reach your macronutrients.
Now remember, the 25 and the 15 is probably not your exact numbers. Make sure that you're going through your plan that we sent you, your PDF, to figure out the exact numbers based on how many meals you want. And then you would just put that number in here instead of these numbers that we gave for the example. I just want that to be clear. Now it's time to go to the store.
What makes our program so easy to follow is we have some simple rules for success. If you follow these rules, if you get close to counting your macros correctly, you're going to have amazing success in our program. Those simple rules. First one, all we're doing is counting direct sources of macros. We covered it earlier in the video, but make sure you're counting direct sources. Don't get caught up with all the indirect counting. That was just going to drive you crazy. Next, we want you to space your meals out. So whether you're eating 4 meals, 5 meals, or 6 meals, make sure you space those out evenly throughout the day and be consistent with it. You should be eating every 2 to 4 hours. You shouldn't have times where you eat 2 hours and then sometimes you eat 4 hours and then sometimes you eat every 5 hours. Your body likes consistency, and if you get out of that consistency, you're going to have issues with your blood sugar. So make sure you're eating consistently. Carb timing. Now this really separates our nutrient plan from other people's plans. Your body is much better at absorbing carbohydrates following a workout. So on days that you have carbohydrates, post-workout, within 30 to 60 minutes after your workout, you're going to eat your protein and your carb meal for that day. And typically you're only going to have 1 carb meal per day. So make sure the carbs come after a workout. Now if it's a day that you don't work out, we want to maximize the window that we go without eating carbohydrates. So either you're going to have it your first meal of the day with breakfast, or you're going to have it with dinner. So you don't want to have it the middle of the day. You want the longest window possible without elevating insulin for the day. The next one is our rule of fat and carbs. So in your meal plan, you'll find that some of your meals are going to just be protein and carbs, and then some of your meals are going to be proteins and fat. Do not mix fat and carbs on this plan. It is that way for a reason. So on your meal plan, you'll see a meal 1, meal 2, meal 3. On the days that you have carbohydrates, meal 1 will always be a protein and a carb, but you're going to put that directly after your workout on workout days, and the days you don't work out, you're going to have it for meal 1 or for dinner. So don't worry that it says meal 1. Put it where it belongs. The next one is eating enough vegetables. On our plan, you need to eat 6 servings of vegetables per day. That's not an option. You need to do it. You're going to be eating a lot of protein. If you eat a lot of protein, it can become acidic to the body. So the vegetables actually counterbalance the acidity, keeping your pH balance where we want it for the program. Now, the other thing that's great about it is vegetables help stabilize our blood sugar, and they keep us full. So it's a lot of volume without a lot of calories. You do not need to count the grams of carbohydrates in the vegetables. They are free as long as you stay on the list that we provide you. So eat your vegetables. I can promise you there's a lot of people that, you know, they're like, I'm really hungry. I say, are you eating all your vegetables? They say no. As soon as they start eating their vegetables, they're no longer hungry. It's magic. Now, shakes. Our rule for shakes is at all times we want you eating whole foods. Whole foods are always going to be better than supplementing with anything, but we all have super busy schedules, so we want to make it convenient so that you're able to stay on your plan. Maybe you're on the go and shakes are your only option. So our rule is that half your meals can be shakes. So if you're eating 4 meals a day, that means you get 2 shakes per day max. If you're eating 6 meals a day, then you get 3 shakes per day max. But honestly, it makes it convenient. If you get the Cellular Core brand protein, it tastes amazing. It tastes like a treat. It almost tastes like you're cheating on your diet. So if the shakes work in your lifestyle, feel free to have the shakes. But if you can eat whole food, eat whole food. And then the last one is water intake. You're going to be working out. You're going to be sweating. You need water. Every cellular function in the human body needs water. Most humans walk around dehydrated all the time. So make sure you're getting adequate water intake. Minimum is half your body weight in ounces. So if you weighed 120 pounds, you'd be drinking 60 ounces of water. Make sure you do that. And again, space it out throughout the day. Make sure you're coming hydrated to your workouts. If you're dehydrated during your workout, your performance is going to really, really suffer, and fat loss is going to suffer as well since you're dehydrated. Every challenge, without fail, we kind of have some common questions and common concerns for people. So we're going to cover those right now with you. The biggest one, we always get this question, is alcohol.
And when we talk about alcohol, pretty much the staple rule for our program is you can't have it. On a cheat meal, possibly, and we'll get into that in a second. But the main reason that we don't want alcohol, even if it's, well, I normally unwind from work with a glass of wine or, you know, a beer or whatever, the problem is you have to count that, okay? Anything that you ingest, you have to count. Wine, beer, liquor, pop, all of that is pretty much filled with sugar and carbohydrate. So we don't want that. That's the big thing. And we don't ever want to substitute it for our carbohydrate. That does not count. So the big thing with alcohol is on this plan, we'd prefer you to really stay away from it completely. However, we do understand that, you know, that's not always possible, and being social is important. So if you are going to drink alcohol, we recommend that you do it at your cheat meal. So if on Saturday night you're going out with some friends, you want to have a couple glasses of wine or whatever with your cheat meal, that's fine. Feel free to do that. But then get right back disciplined and go throughout your week and stay disciplined on the diet. For a perfect example was in our last challenge, we actually had someone who who was very strict with the plan, and they saw very minimal results. And every week on their progress report, they talked about how they came home and drank a vodka soda or a vodka pop every single night. And that was really the initial reason of why they didn't see the results that they wanted to, was purely because of alcohol, because they did everything else right.
When alcohol is in your system, your body is not able to store it. Your body can store carbohydrates, it can store fat, it can store fats and proteins actually. So what happens when you ingest alcohol into your body, since your body has to burn it since it can't store it, it's going to store everything else before it burns through all the alcohol. So make sure, stay away from alcohol. You're committed for 6 weeks. You'll be fine leaving it to 1 day per week. Now, supplements. We always get asked about supplements, and we're not big believers in supplements. We believe that supplements are a supplement. If you're eating whole foods and you're eating healthily, you really don't need too many supplements. So what we recommend is Cellular Core protein. It's a great tasting protein and it's high quality. I recommend getting that. We'll give you the links for that and how to order it. It's very simple. And the reason why we recommend that as opposed to going into Walmart or Meijer is you get what you pay for. When you buy low-grade protein, you really get what you pay for. And the Cellular Core tastes great. It's a high-quality protein, and you're not paying any more than you would actually walking into Meijer or Walmart for their cheap low-grade protein. So stick with the Cellular Core protein. It's amazing. Our clients love it. Next, I'll give you a link for a high-quality multivitamin. The multivitamin I recommend is sourced from whole fruits and vegetables. Most multivitamins are synthetic vitamins, and our body isn't designed to intake synthetic vitamins. So the multivitamin I recommend is from fruits and vegetables, how our body is actually meant to absorb vitamins. And the last one I recommend is a krill oil supplement. Again, I'll send you a link to that. Everything we recommend comes from reputable companies that spend millions of dollars on research to make sure their products are high quality. So krill oil, everybody's heard about fish oil, but krill oil is like fish oil on steroids. In the guides, I explain exactly why you should take these supplements, and everything that we do comes from a why as opposed to just do what we tell you to. The next one is coffee. Aaron's going to cover that because I don't drink coffee.
All right, so coffee. Coffee is a yes. You can have coffee, especially during this diet. If you feel low on energy or you wake up in the morning and it's part of your routine, you are fine. However, black is best. Black is always best. If you can't stand black coffee, that's just not how you drink your coffee, you don't like it that way, there are a couple alternatives that you can use. So if you want to have it with your breakfast and you want to put heavy whipping cream in it, it's actually really, really good to have your coffee that way. However, you have to count the heavy whipping cream as a fat source. That is the one key that you have to remember. Now, as far as sweeteners, stevia is where we pretty much stop the list. We don't try to use artificial sweeteners. We try to stay away from them, and they're very abundant in coffee and coffee flavoring substances. So stick with stevia. It's the safest way to go. Our clients have actually, and I've only tried it a couple times, but they actually will put their protein in their coffee in the morning and almost drink that as their breakfast. So they get their caffeine, and they say it really flavors their coffee awesome. I believe chocolate was their top one. So keep that in mind as well. And then if you also want to use unsweetened almond milk, okay, that does still count as a fat source, but it's very, very minimal. There's only like 2 grams of fat in a cup of almond milk, and you're not using that much, obviously. So it's very, very minimal amount of fat, but do still count it just to be safe.
It is important to count it because if you put a bunch of cream in your coffee and then you've ingested 10 grams of fat and you don't count it towards your macros, that may be the difference between you losing for the week and not losing, because that will add up over the week, especially if you're having multiple cups of coffee. So just count it. The next thing that we always get asked is condiments and how to flavor food. You know, the biggest complaint for most people is that healthy food doesn't taste good. A lot of that is just from a lack of trying and a lack of effort in the kitchen. But honestly, just adding some stuff to your food can make it taste amazing. But there also are some no-nos, and usually the no-nos are the reasons why you guys are starting this challenge, is because you're loading this stuff up on your food in the first place. So with condiments, kind of a couple simple rules here. You know, a lot of people get really caught up in sodium, but in all honesty, if you're working out consistently and you're plenty hydrated, sodium is not an issue whatsoever. They find that most athletes, actually, their sodium levels are really low. So sodium is yes. Obviously, don't go crazy with it, but if something has sodium in it, you do not need to avoid it. And most of the time, if it has sodium in it, it doesn't have these 2 other rules, which is loaded with sugar and loaded with carbohydrates. So you really can follow your plan to a T, but then if you're adding sugar condiments and carbohydrates on top of your food, that might be the difference, again, between losing and having amazing success and then not having success on your plan. It's just not worth it, I promise you. So if it's loaded with sugar, so if it has 1 or 2 grams of sugar or more, so 1 or 2 grams or less, you can have it a serving. Remind yourself what a serving is, though. Most people don't stick to servings. They have multiple servings. So if it has 1 or 2 grams of sugar and 1 or 2 grams of carbohydrates per serving, you can have a serving of it, and that is it. So some staples for making food taste really good are salsa. Just make sure you're looking at the sugar and carb content of the salsa. So you take a dry chicken breast and you add some salsa to it, and it tastes great. Hot sauce, Aaron puts hot sauce on everything. So hot sauce is a great way to make things taste better instantly, even if it's a couple days old and dry and stale. So the biggest couple here are ketchup, barbecue, and ranch. Ketchup, 1 serving of ketchup has 4 grams of sugar, so obviously that's a no-no. And nobody has 1 serving of ketchup. Everybody loads everything up with ketchup. Barbecue sauce, you're looking at anywhere from 10 to 15 grams of sugar per serving. And again, nobody has 1 serving of barbecue sauce. So just having a couple servings of barbecue sauce, you've already pretty much eaten 30 grams of sugar, and one Coke, one 12-ounce Coke has 47 grams of sugar. So essentially, you know not to drink a Coke, but most people are doing the exact same thing by loading their food with barbecue sauce. And then ranch, everybody likes to dip their stuff in ranch or have a salad with ranch, but a full serving of ranch is like 20 grams of fat. And again, when people have salads, no one has one serving. So literally, you know, you're better off running through Burger King and eating a Whopper than having a salad with ranch. So stick away from the ranch. You'll be fine for 6 weeks, and hopefully by the end of the 6 weeks, this stuff is just eliminated from your diet anyways. Now seasonings, honestly, what people don't do is they don't season their food. That's why it doesn't taste good. It's not because healthy food doesn't taste good. It's because you don't spend the time to season it. So 2 staples for seasoning. M-Salt is amazing. It goes good on any protein source that you have. I've never put it on a protein source and was like, oh, that doesn't taste good. It always tastes great. So M-Salt is always good. And then Mrs. Dash, if you really need low sodium type condiments and seasoning, Mrs. Dash is great for seasoning. Honestly, if you just play around with seasoning your food, there's no reason it can't taste good. One of the core staples of our program is something called progress reports. Every single week, you're going to need to fill out a progress report and send it back to us. We have no idea how well you're doing if you don't fill out the progress reports. And I put it very simply. If you can't take 5 minutes out of your day to fill out a progress report, literally fill out the questions. They're pretty much the same thing every single week. You're going to tell us how much weight you lost, how many inches you lost, and then a series of usually 5 or 6 questions which really help us get to your mindset. If you can't take the 5 minutes to fill it out and send it back to us, that shows us that you're really not committed to the program, and then we just simply can't help you. So the people that fill out the progress reports, they send them in on time, always get amazing results. The people that don't send in their progress reports, or they send them 2 days late, or whatever it may be, there's a direct correlation between the results. They're just not getting the results because your head's not in the game, you're not all in. And if you want to be successful over the next 6 weeks, you need to be all in with this program. So Friday by noon to the correct email, and you'll know what the correct email is. So Friday by noon, submit your progress reports. If for some reason you're an hour or 2 late, you know, that's fine. But at the end of the day, the people that are going to win are going to be the people that send in their progress reports by noon every single time. Now, we don't want to be mean, but if you're not sending in your progress reports, you're going to be disqualified from winning the competition. So the next thing is, be honest with us. The point of the progress reports is for us to help you. So if you submit your progress report and you didn't lose weight and you didn't lose inches that week, and we asked you, did you deviate from your diet, and you said, no, I did everything I could possibly do, I followed the plan, so then we think, okay, we need to adjust their plan, and usually that means less food. And we honestly want you to lose weight on the highest amount of calories possible. So if you did deviate from the plan, if you did go out and you went and had a couple drinks and you ate too much that week and you really didn't follow the plan, just be honest with us, because it's not that the plan wasn't working, it's just the execution wasn't there, and we really don't need to make unnecessary changes. So be honest with us. We can't help you unless you're honest. And then the last one, which is Aaron's favorite, is the copy and paste.
So here's what's going to happen is every single week, by Friday by noon, you're going to fill this out, right? Well, we're going to send you the progress report in an email. All you need to do is just copy that series of questions, put it into a fresh email to the designated email address that you're supposed to send it to, and then fill out the questions from inside the email. The reason that we ask you this is because our goal here is to help as many people as possible. So in order to do that, we have to be as efficient with our time as possible. That being said, what happens is if you attach it as a Word document, we then have to take the steps to download the attachment, and they're all labeled the same, and they're all saved the same, then figure out which one's yours, then go through, then answer it, then send it back. Or if you take a picture, we have to download the picture, go find the picture, look up the answers, and then send it back. As opposed to, if it's right in the email, we can just click reply, we can see all the questions that you answered, we can see everything that we need to see, we can adjust things accordingly, and it makes our time much easier and more efficient. The biggest thing that happens here is, again, is our job is to make sure that you're getting the best results possible, and we want to make sure that we can just be as efficient as possible for you so that we can spend our time working on the things that need to be worked on as opposed to trying to find your attachment. So please, please, please just copy and paste it into an email and then send it to the appropriate place.
We literally spend 10 to 20 hours on Friday and Saturday responding to your programs, changing your programs so that you can have the greatest success over the next 6 weeks. So just be respectful of our time, be respectful of the process. If you want great results, you will submit the progress reports. If you don't want great results, you probably won't submit the progress reports. It's really that simple. Now, one of the key components of our program and why it's so successful is not only do we focus on proper training and nutrition and it's cutting edge what we do, but we also focus on your mindset. The training and the nutrition don't matter if your mindset isn't where it's supposed to be. So many of the questions that we ask you inside your progress reports, inside your initial eval, is to get to your why. And honestly, a lot of people, when they start having success, they start forgetting why they started. So before you even get started, I want you to think about, why am I doing this? What is my why? And I tell everyone, if your why is big enough, no matter what obstacles you face, you will keep fighting and you'll keep reaching for your goals. If your why is really not big enough, as soon as you hit an obstacle, and you will, I promise you, it's not going to be an easy 6 weeks. There will be obstacles. We have lives, and stuff happens. But if you're really committed and your why is big enough, you'll find a way to get around those obstacles and you will succeed. Now, commit to the process, and this is super important. Many people have had success on other diets, they've done other things, but at the end of the day, they went back into old bad habits. We have a track record of success. If you commit and you follow the plan, you're going to get results. Our results just simply do not lie, and the people that follow through, the people that do what they're supposed to do, get amazing results. Not everybody's successful. I wish I could say we have a 100% track record with people being success in our challenges. But the difference between the people that are successful and not successful all goes back to mindset. So commit to the process. It works. Don't fight it. We've had people that the first couple of weeks, they kind of fought it, and they're looking for reasons to get out of it. And then they turned around week 3, week 4, they finally committed. And by the end, they lost 10, 15, 20 pounds. But imagine what would happen if they committed from day 1 to the process and just gave it everything they got. So my challenge for you is to commit to the process and give it 100% from day 1. Now, it is 6 weeks. 6 weeks doesn't seem like a long time, but it can become a grind. And there's always one week that we find, and it's different for everybody, there's always going to be one tough week. So stay focused. If you have a bad day, if something happens, you don't stick to your plan, maybe you cheat when you're not supposed to cheat, just get right back on track. The worst thing you can do is just give up. And a lot of people use the phrase, I don't care, and that gives you permission to do whatever you want. At the end of the day, you do care. You signed up for a 6-week program for a reason. It wasn't because you didn't care. A lot of people lose focus of why they started. So stay committed and just stay focused. If something bad happens, get back on track. We do have a support group, our private Facebook group. If you get back off track, let everybody know, and just everybody's going to lift you up and support you. You can email me, you can email Aaron, you can email our staff. We want nothing more than to see you succeed. So if you're struggling, let us know. We can't help you unless let us know that you're struggling. So if it's outside the progress reports, you can still email us, you can send me a private Facebook message. Just let us know. We want you to stay on track. We want you to do amazing. At the end of the day, we're here to help you. Now, at any time, if you have any type of questions, let us know. You can let us know during the sessions, but we prefer that it be outside the sessions. So you can email us, you can call us, you can Facebook message us. We do have that support group on Facebook that if you throw a question out there, there's people that have done multiple challenges and have, humongous success in our challenges, and they're going to help you as well. And a lot of times they'll answer your questions before we do. So don't be afraid. There's no stupid questions. We do want you to get through your guides, though, and get through the video, and that any questions you have whatsoever, please let us know.
The big thing that I always like to stress to people is, we always go through life and we say, well, what if? Well, what if? Well, what if? Well, what if? And I'm going to challenge you to really sell out from day 1. If you truly could give something 100%, this is your chance. This is literally your chance to say, you know what? I've never done anything 100% my entire life. I might have done 90, I might have done 95, but I've never truly given 100% at something. And what 100% means is that you try to make the best decision. Is I'm going to battle this meal. I have to eat this many meals. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to prepare my food the night before. I'm going to plan my week out ahead of time. If I have a cheat meal, I'm going to jump right back on the bandwagon. It's about staying focused and staying committed to yourself. And I promise you, if you do that, you will get amazing, amazing results. Because what we are going to do, the easy part here is the training. Coming in and enjoying yourself, and you're eventually going to love it. It's going to be the best part of your day to come in here, see everybody else who's doing the challenge, kind of gain that camaraderie that we have here, whether it be through the Facebook page or in our training sessions, and just be able to really go after something. And it's such an amazing feeling when at the end of 6 weeks, you go, man, look at what I accomplished in 6 weeks. And you have no idea how many times we go through the progress reports, the final progress reports at the end of the challenge, and we just see stories of people who have really changed, not only physically, but their mentality about how they attack life has changed. And that's something that's important to us as well. So if you ever, like Matt said, if you ever have any questions or you're not sure on something, that's what we do. We are here to make sure that you have someone to constantly ask these questions to, whether it be in Facebook, private messaging, emails, whatever it may be. We are 100% here to make sure that you can give us 100% in return.
This program honestly changes lives, and I can't tell you how many emails I've been thanked for changing their lives in just 4 to 6 weeks. But it all starts with establishing your why. Know why you're doing this, commit to the process, and stay focused. At the end of the day, the program works, but it's completely up to you whether or not you're going to have success.